Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surabhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 22nd of August. Situation in India's Jammu and Kashmir remains peaceful amid restrictions. Afghan President cautions allies on adopting wrong policy for peace. And Sri Lanka's new army chief takes office amid international criticism. And now for all the details. Situation remained peaceful amid reasonable restrictions in India's Jammu and Kashmir on Thursday. With normalcy returning gradually, people have been expressing support to Indian government's move to revoke Article 370, and they hope it will now bring growth and economic development in the entire region.
Srinagar city, the summer capital of India's Jammu and Kashmir, continued to reel under a lockdown, with the overall situation remaining peaceful on Thursday. Armed security force personnel patrolled the valley to prevent any untoward incidents, as restrictions have been eased in most areas of Jammu and Kashmir. The movement of people and traffic has been increasing gradually, but markets remained shut on Thursday. Officials said the situation has been peaceful, except for some minor incidents, since reasonable restrictions were imposed earlier this month after India revoked the special status granted to the region.
Area where there was relaxation extended, they also behaved normally also. Except in few pockets there were minor stray incidents of stone pelting. Otherwise, rest of the area behaved normally. Situation is again being monitored closely, and local decisions are taken regarding law and order.
Meanwhile, in Tral town of Jammu and Kashmir, people expressed hope that they look forward to a bright future now. They said they supported Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's decision to abrogate Article 370, which will now bring growth and economic development in the entire region.
जब हालात सुधार जाएंगे, नई सरकार आएगी और नौकरियां मिल जाएंगी.
ये उम्मीद है आपको?
हाँ, ये उम्मीद है.
The Indian government has said that it would ease and lift the restrictions in a phased manner. The move to bifurcate Jammu and Kashmir into two union territories will come into existence on October 31st.
Indian Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar, on the final day of his two-day visit to Kathmandu, met Nepali President Bidya Devi Bhandari on Thursday. Earlier, Jaishankar co-chaired the 5th meeting of the Nepal-India Joint Commission aimed at bolstering bilateral ties.
India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar met Nepali President Bidya Devi Bhandari in capital Kathmandu on Thursday. Both the leaders held talks of mutual interest flanked by Indian officials. Earlier, Jaishankar and his Nepalese counterpart Pradeep Kumar Gyawali co-chaired 5th meeting of India-Nepal Joint Commission on Wednesday. Jaishankar in a tweet said discussions were productive and the Joint Commission comprehensively reviewed bilateral relations and identified areas of cooperation. A memorandum of understanding on food safety and standards between Food Safety and Standards Authority of India and Department of Food Technology and Quality Control of Nepal was signed. During the meeting, 2 checks amounting to 3.74 billion Nepali rupees for Terai Roads project and post-earthquake reconstruction project were also handed over to Nepal. Jaishankar, who arrived in Kathmandu after a 2-day visit to Bangladesh on Wednesday, had met Prime Minister K.P. Sharma Oli.
Water Resources Minister of India, Gajendra Singh Shekhawat, on Wednesday said India is trying to divert the residual river water that flows to neighbouring Pakistan. He said his ministry is working on how the excess water can be diverted for use by Indians.
Indian Water Resources Minister Gajendra Singh Shekhawat on Wednesday said the government had started the process of diverting residual river water flow into Pakistan. A World Bank-mediated arrangement known as the Indus Water Treaty splits the Indus River and its tributaries between the countries, upon which 80% of Pakistan's irrigated agriculture depends on. Shekhawat said A large part of India's share of water supply under the treaty goes to Pakistan, and his ministry is working on how the excess water can be diverted for use by Indians.
ऐसे सारे पानी को जो हमारे हिस्से का साल में बह कर के पाकिस्तान जाता है, साल भर बह कर के भी जाता है, बरसात के समय में भी जाता है, उस सब को हम किस तरह से डाइवर्ट करके अपने किसानों के लिए, अपने उद्योगों के लिए बिजली पैदा करने के लिए और अपने नागरिकों के पीने के पानी के लिए उपयोग में ले सकते हैं, इस पे हम प्राथमिकता के साथ में काम कर रहे हैं.
Already hostile relations between the neighbors have been further strained after India this month revoked the special status of its Jammu and Kashmir region, to which Pakistan has raised objections. India had earlier threatened in February to stop sharing excess water with Pakistan after a suicide bomb attack by a Pakistan-based terror group in Jammu and Kashmir killed at least 40 Indian security personnel.
Moving on, absence of proper medical facilities has remained a matter of grave concern for the locals in Gilgit-Baltistan. Locals hold the negligent attitude of the puppet administration under Islamabad's control as the primary cause of their misery.
An ambulance executing duties of a garbage van speaks volumes about the state of medical and health affairs in Gilgit-Baltistan. It is one of the several other examples that clearly capture the picture of poor health services in the illegally occupied region. While doctors and nurses are perennially absent in the government-run hospitals, people are forced to travel to other parts of Pakistan for every small medical issue. They blame there are also insufficient number of beds and proper equipments required for even basic diagnosis and treatment.
अस्पतालों की हालत के हवाले से ये कहा जा सकता है कि कभी कचरा कुंडी में तब्दील हो जाते हैं, कभी इनकी एक्सरे मशीन ख़राब हो जाती है, कभी डॉक्टर नहीं होता, कभी डॉक्टर वक्त पे नहीं आता. उस वजह से काफ़ी पिछली मरतबा यहाँ पर सिटी हॉस्पिटल में एक वाक़या पेश आया. वहाँ पर एक वो गिजर से एक मरीज़ लाया गया था, जो डॉक्टर न होने की वजह से वो उसकी डेथ वाक़या हो गई. तो ऐसे कई वाक़यात पेश आते हैं.
Successive governments in Gilgit-Baltistan have only passed the ball from one court to another. Crumbling medical sector and the corrupt government in the illegally occupied region are only compounding the troubles of the beleaguered people who have been fighting for their basic rights for decades now.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani has outlined the need to move the Afghan peace process forward with caution. Ghani warned that Afghans could face unpleasant consequences if any wrong policy is adopted.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has said that adopting any wrong policy for achieving peace will be unpleasant consequences for his country. Ghani, who met NATO's 19th Supreme Allied Commander Europe General Todd de Walters on Wednesday, further outlined the need to move the Afghan peace process forward with caution as peace and security in Afghanistan and the US are faced with threats. An official statement by the presidential palace also quoted the president as saying that the Taliban cannot remain in the absence of their safe haven in Pakistan. The group, according to Ghani, is yet to have a will for peace and ceasefire. This comes as US Chief Negotiator Zalmay Khalilzad has embarked on a fresh trip to Afghan peace, in which he will resume his talks with the Taliban. The US and the Taliban representatives have been holding talks since 2018 to achieve a peace deal and to end the 18-year-long war in the country.
Sri Lanka's newly appointed Army Chief Shavendra Silva took office and attended a Buddhist religious ceremony in Colombo on Wednesday, amidst widespread international criticism for his involvement in the Sri Lankan civil war.
Sri Lanka's newly appointed Army Commander Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva assumed duties at the Army headquarters on Wednesday amidst military honours in capital Colombo. 55-year-old Silva's appointment by President Maithripala Sirisena on Monday drew flack from the United States, United Nations and civil society groups for his involvement in the Sri Lankan civil war. Silva was a key military leader during the final phase of the island nation's 26-year-long war with dissident Tamil Tigers. The Sri Lankan Foreign Ministry brushed aside international criticism of its decision to name a war veteran accused of human rights violations as its army chief as on Tuesday, saying in a statement that foreign entities trying to influence the decisions and internal administrative processes of public service promotions in Sri Lanka is unwarranted and unacceptable. A United Nations panel has accused Silva's army division of suspected extrajudicial executions of unarmed rebels in the final week of the war, which ended in 2009. Silva, who joined the army in 1984 and was its chief of staff from January, has denied the accusations.
Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh have expressed objection on returning to Myanmar as they fear torture back there. Some of the refugees on Wednesday said they would rather die than be sent back.
Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh have said they fear torture in Myanmar and would rather die than be sent back. The remarks came prior to repatriating process of Rohingya, which was expected to begin on Thursday by Bangladeshi authorities and the United Nations Refugee Agency. More than 730,000 Rohingyas fled Myanmar after a military crackdown in August 2017 that the UN has said was perpetrated with genocidal intent, and many refugees have refused to go back, fearing more violence.
We have arranged, mobilized all logistical facilities, all structural arrangements are put in place. We have also started interviewing the families who were cleared by the Myanmar government.
Previous attempts at persuading Rohingyas to return to Myanmar have failed due to opposition from refugees. An effort in November sowed fear and confusion in the camps and finally failed after protest.
Settled in the lap of Himalayas, the difficult terrain of India's northern Ladakh region has River Indus and Zanskar with exciting rapids, perfect for river rafting. Adventure sports enthusiasts recently came together and braved the Zanskar River to take part in a rafting and kayaking competition.
River rafting in India's northern Ladakh region evokes thrill like no other. The wonderful landscape of Ladakh adds to the delight of rafting. Adventure sports enthusiasts came together and braved the Zanskar River in the mountainous region of Leh earlier this week to take part in a rafting and kayaking competition. The three-day competition saw around 140 participants showcasing their skills at the second edition of the competition, organized to promote water sports in the area.
वर्ल्ड हाईएस्ट राफ्टिंग एंड कायाकिंग कंपटीशन जो यहाँ पे ऑर्गेनाइज किया जा रहा है लद्दाख में, ये सेकंड एडिशन है हमारा यहाँ लद्दाख का, और अल्टो है और राफ्टिंग एसोसिएशन के कॉलेक्शन में ये किया जा रहा है लद्दाख में, ये सेकंड टाइम है।
मैं जानती थी कि ये बहुत चैलेंजिंग होगा क्योंकि ये हाई एल्टीट्यूड ही नहीं, मतलब इसमें इतना ठंडा पानी है जांगसर की नदी में, और आते ही मुझे सीधे कंपटीशन में कम्पीट करना पड़ा। फर्स्ट टाइम कायाकिंग करा सीधे कंपटीशन की रेस में, बट बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है यहाँ आके।
The mountainous desert region of Ladakh that has recently been made a union territory after bifurcating of Jammu and Kashmir is a popular destination for tourists for thrilling adventure sports like river rafting, river crossing and trekking. Settled in the lap of Himalayas, the difficult terrain has Indus River and Zanskar River with exciting rapids perfect for river rafting.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Situation in India's Jammu and Kashmir remains peaceful amid restrictions. Afghan President cautions allies on adopting wrong policy for peace. And Sri Lanka's new army chief takes office amid international criticism. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.